Much like the last stream, I forgot to turn on my microphone again. Look at me, I had the biggest brain on the block. Anyways, as I was saying, just before we get into it, the bot just showed, well, the game's announced, the special summer campaign where you get the BT marks that you can trade in. Just something that everyone should keep in mind, the differentiation. BT marks are for trading in for points. Universal marks are what you slot in for free to whatever part you want, or you could trade them in. So, yeah. Pretty nice. Now, obviously as well, we get the daily 10 draw tickets. What is that? 140 free pulls, so 2 weeks worth of the capsule pulls, and a comeback bonus for anyone that quit the game. That's what? 1,500 Haro, so a free 10 draw, 10 energy 100s, three single draw things from their special capsule, 6 in total, 2 part exchange tickets, another 10, not bad, and a gold exchange mark. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting to turn on my main mic. I guess it's because for 4.5, 5 months worth of streaming, I didn't have the game audio being cycled to my computer. So it was always just unmute one thing and you're good to go. But now I have to unmute 2 things. Clearly, I'm not used to change. So anyways, let's get this going. We'll look over the welfare, and we'll look over the new gacha stuff, and then we will move into, I guess, free time. So, I forgot to do my daily free rolls before it rolled over. Oh well. C'est la vie, mon ami. First wave exclusive Gunpla exchange. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that's the bullseye stuff or whatever. Cool. Okay. So we're all here for Blade Device A. Let's look at the Sword Impulse, shall we? Man, it's a really cool looking suit, but let me just set this to silent. There we go. It's a really cool looking suit, but it's welfare, right? It's gonna gimp the crap out of it. Okay, what do we got? So it has very low shot attack and melee, ridiculously low. Here's the thing, right? The head part is one of the core things towards a shot build. So you would expect that to at least have over 1,000 shot attack. This head does not. This head suffers from very anemic offensive stats. So, advanced shot mode. I don't know yet, Mana. I'll take a look after all this is said and done. I'll worry about it later. Should I have 1 quad arm EX3 or 3 quad arm EX1? Here's the thing, right? If you put 1 to EX3, that'll make the funnel stronger. But, funnels really aren't that great of an EX skill. Flip side, if you have 3 of them at level 1, if an event comes along where the Kshatriya is getting a bonus, you have 3 bonus parts, 1 for each of your suits. So it's really up in the air at how you want to treat it. But for me, I would dump it all into a single part, because I like the quad, and I also have the full suit, so it's not like I'd be short of part bonuses, so. Okay, let's look here. The rest of these stats. So, very lame offensive stats. With a tribute, recover 10 armor gradually. Okay, so just so you guys know, that just means 10 armor on its own. This head part has, for example, 1,083 armor. So this would be, what, less than a tenth? This is 1% heals per tick. Right? I don't think I have to be the one to tell you that that's practically useless. Right? Close combat and 4 base at least has a single good offensive tag on it. Overall, though, this head is it's just not good. It has 1 good word tag, very low stats, and the part trait just kills me on the inside to read. So, Outfighter Job, EX skill Pierce boost. Okay, so it has again. Oh, you know, it has slightly higher than average attack on the chest piece. Okay. And I mean that very, very lightly. Cool. Close combat again, 4 base. I don't like the 4 base tag. I don't like most of the 4x tags. Granted, we have had some parts that give triggers based on, you know, those tags, which makes them useful, but overall I just don't find them very, no. Close combat, as we all know, is a very good tag for any melee builds, and it's very easy to get. So this part, the trait, not so great. The armor and melee attack are pretty okay for a welfare, and 1 good word tag. You know, it's better than the head. Ooh, okay. Give me a sec here. My microphone just kind of went out of whack. Let me just tighten the bolt on it real quick. Okay, there we go. I need to stop hitting this mic. Arms. Hey, Sukia, thanks for the donation, buddy. It's been a long time since I heard that. I actually love that animation that was done. That's why I'm using it. I also just love conchus. I hate conchus, but I love the concept of them from Monster Hunter. Anyways, so looking at this, the shot attack is literally 0, which is very rare. Very, 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 very rare. The melee attack is, for welfare, like, it's passable. With Twin Blade category equipped, melee power boosted. Again, much like the Zaku Amazing's arms, this has a little more flexibility to it than other arm parts do. And obviously, if you use Twin Blades, pretty nice. Pretty much, this is the this is the Twin Blade equivalent of the Gelgoog arms that we got recently as the event. Because that one was with Naginata, you get a melee boost. This is Twin Blade. And that also makes me really happy because it means they actually gave him the melee weapons as a Twin Blade. I wish it was a Naginata, like I said, because, you know, one big long sword is always ridiculous, but take what you can get. Close combat for base. Okay, so it has acceptable melee stats for a welfare, nothing outstanding. The part trait is not unique, but cool, especially if you're someone that uses Twin Blades and you don't already have a better arm part boost, or trait, I guess. And it brings at least close combat to the table, meaning if you want to use this as a subslot part, right, you would just need to have something in the front that has amazing stats and potentially pro tag. And then you'd have your pro tag, you'd have your close combat, you'd have an amazing part trait to tack on if you're using dual blades, and there you go. So, and also, because it's a trait, you can pick whatever aesthetic you want. Look at me, I'm integrating the new stuff into my videos. That's not really new anymore. But anyways. Twin Blades is not dual sabers. That is correct. Okay. Well, melee attack is over 7,000 EX skill CD reduced. If this was initial CD, that would be jaw-droppingly good. Unfortunately, it is not. It is just EX skill CD. Meh. Offensively, this is par for the course. Armor-wise, it's welfare legs, close combat Gundam type. It's a part. I get it for the collection. Backpack. Excalibur. Why am I not surprised? B power D Pierce. Okay, that's a little surprising. No buffs or anything, and it is no cutscene, so it's just kind of a start swinging. Okay, so it might have AoE to it, which may boost its usefulness in certain situations, but as it is a sword swinging AoE, okay. Close combat Gundam type, okay, and stats are what you'd expect. So, I think this part has going for its close combat and the aesthetic. So, If you have a melee backpack that has an amazing trait, maybe use this. That way you can use this as the aesthetic and bada bing bada boom. Anyways. So it does actually have the Naginata. Ooh. Be still, my beating heart. I love this. This is what I live for right here. This shit. This is a mwah. While Gundam type, initial EX skill charge boosted by 12%. I am Gundam. Look at that. They immediately went and made Gundam type one of the word tags I dislike very, very much. Very, very relevant out of nowhere. Granted, 12% is not a astounding boost, but 12% is 12%. Now, this is not going to be too useful, personally, I don't think, on a melee build. There are amazing weapons available in this game with much higher stat distributions, but this does have relatively decent offensive stats for a welfare part. And the trait... This would be something I might consider putting on a machine, like a shop build machine. This could definitely be a sub-slotted piece for a weapon, if you wanted that trait. Close combat as well, and Gundam type, so it really feeds into itself. Sub-slotting has given us a lot of potential with how we build our machines, as most of you are probably very aware. So being able to get triple word tag machines is very, very, very easy. Now, the argument to be made here is it worth building a machine that has triple offensive word tags? You know, you have your, for example, if you're a melee suit, right, you'd have your close combat, you'd have pro tag, potentially high firepower, for example, right, because that gives you an extra 5%. When you're playing with numbers that are above, 50k at that point, which you probably are, that 5% is a big deal, right? So would you trade that 5% for 12% cooldown, right? Because you'd be going Gundam type instead of high firepower. So it's definitely a food for thought kind of thing for players, but if you're looking at just like a 2 word tag suit and you're not really sure you want your third to be, you have a lot of options. Not just this weapon, but there are other weapons that use these more obscure, I guess, word tags to do cool stuff. So mull it over, right? Think about what kind of combination you'd like to throw together, what you have available. It's hard to rate them. Yeah, Flammy, like I said in my last video, right, I don't really know what I'm going to do with the premium material videos going forward. I may change it into things you may want to subslot type of videos, right, where I talk about parts I think are good in a subslot position, but I don't think the premium material videos can continue on as they had in the past. 2.0 really threw a wrench into everything that we understood about how the game functioned. So, okay. So yeah, like I said, this would be a pretty cool subslot piece. I'm not so sure about a front piece just because of the stats and all that. But yeah. Alright, then we have the standalone sword, uncoupled. It looks like pretty much the same offensive stats. Now that doesn't make sense. The 2 swords should have double the attack. Outfighter, strong melee crit rate. Okay, so that trait's a complete write-off. Close combat, 4 base. So... yeah, this is something you would just grab for the aesthetics, honestly. Close combat's the only thing that makes it even the tiniest bit tantalizing, but... don't forget, right, when you're doing subslots, the front and back weapon types have to match. So you can't use a... at least I don't think you can. I have yet to 6-star my weapon, but if I remember what they said correctly, you can't use like an axe on a greatsword or, a one-handed saber on dual blades, right? So, anyways, mobile shield. Oh, we got the shield throw again. A-D. Completely useless. Completely useless with that power. No offensive stats, okay defensive, close combat 4 base. Man, why couldn't you be Gundam type? But I guess it makes sense. Okay. So, looking at the impulse as a whole, let me just double check the legs again here. Yeah, no. Okay, so pretty much just the arms are the only lookers on here, and potentially the Naginata, just because, personally, I think it's aesthetically pretty cool. and it has a potentially useful EX, or not EX, part trait based on the way you've built your machine. So those would be the two I would look into potentially getting golds for. Potentially, right? So it's up to you. Don't let me dictate how you play the game. And nothing new in that shop. What's Blade B got? Ooh, what are our word tag chips for today? So we have Technique, Close Combat, nice, nice. Zaku type, okay. Ace exclusive, gonna be emptying that out. Amphibious, for Xeon? Or Urban Area, damn it. Okay. And skip tickets, cool. Well, off to the gacha. What awaits us here? There we go. We'll start with the Sandrock. Okay. Twin Blades arms without Twin Blades, second time this happened. Yep, it's not uncommon, right? Because they'll make the suit, and then they probably pick word tags kind of to attempt, I say this loosely because I have no idea, to attempt to balance it. If every suit buffed everything it brought to the table, right, then we'd be running a lot of mono suits. That's acceptable, but the entire point of this game is kit bashing, as much as they make it difficult to kit bash. I don't get it either. Okay. Press the like button. Yeah, you know, if you do enjoy the live streams and stuff, hit the like button and all that, because it helps in the algorithm, puts it up there, more people will see it. So, alright, Gundam type, close combat. Lots of close combat this week. Lots of close combat. Offensive-wise, it has less than average shot attack, average melee attack for a head, and head-mounted Vulcan is a write-off. So, pretty much close combat's the only thing that head's really got going for it. But this is a standard pool. Torso, Gundam type 4 base. Like, why? Why do this to the Sandrock? What did it ever do to you? Show us on the doll where it touched you. Jeez. Hey, look at that. It's got A power, and it kills you. Nice trade-off. So, for anyone that's new to this game or isn't aware, the self-destruct that is unique to the Gundam Wing line of suits does 90% of your max armor, as it says in the skill description. This can and will kill you if you have less than, or if you have 90 or less than % of your armor remaining. So be very careful with it. It can be useful for activating certain skills that require you to have less than 1% of armor, but in general, you probably want to be careful with these skills. Okay. Stat distribution wise, we're looking at a more or less average torso, slightly higher than average melee attack, I think. Word tags really aren't that good. It's a part, man. Like, I don't really know what else to say. Could have at least been for desert. Ooh boy. All close combat, melee power boosted by 30%. So this is pretty much the equivalent to the Bale arms, the Barbados arms, right? They all require different triggers for the 30%. Now, and just something to note, these machine parts push it up to 30%, where we have welfare alternatives or 3-star alternatives that push it to 25%. So if the 5% matters that much to you, absolutely invest in these parts. But do remember that unless you roll the gacha, it'll take you a few months to get the part level up to 10, whereas with a welfare part or a 3-star part that only has a 25% boost, you can get it up to maximum very quickly. So the trade-off is 17% at level 1, you know, it takes you a few months to build it up, or you know, you just get the 25 out of the box because you can instantly EX10 welfare parts, and it's pretty easy to obtain 3-star parts. So, food for thought. You're looking to min-max, though. You go for the 30s. Melee attack. Slightly lower than average. Typically for arms for a melee-oriented suit, we want to push about 3.2, 3.3k base. So being able to get 3.2k after level 90. But this is at 99. Okay, Gundam type close combat. Doesn't even have any... Oh, it has close combat, but it doesn't have pro tag, which is the primary boost for melee builds. And okay, At least the trait is easy to activate on melee suits, right? With dual saber category equipped, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. That's a very easy trait to activate. We're getting a lot more dual sabers now. So maybe if you pick this up with the next part ticket, if you want to use it on a support machine or something, there you go. Stat distribution wise, you're looking at pretty much average. Gundam type 4 base, the word tags are absolute write-offs. Well, I guess, not Gundam type because of the new weapon we got, but you guys know what I mean, I hope. Alright, Cross Edge. A-, B-. Unfortunately, it's a B- power. If that was at least B, that might be something to write home about, or at least be interested in, but with B-, not so much. Stat distribution is, again, pretty much average. Gundam type and 4 base. Not really doing it. Aesthetically, it's a very interesting part, because, it has the big heat shuttles on it, but... Does it have the cloak? That's a very good question. Yes, it does. So it looks like we're going to be talking about that shortly. So let's look at the heat shuttles. When melee defense is over 12k, enemy melee power reduced. That's going to be a little more difficult to trigger. Melee defense on most machines barely pushes 10k unless you're speccing more towards the defensive side, but as this would be more towards a defensive build type machine, because you'd be using it on a support build, or that third suit in the arena, or maybe that tag along suit for multi-missions to just reduce all incoming damage, that is probably very achievable. Gundam type 4 base word tags, at least it has decent melee attack. It's pushing what, 3.7-ish? 3.6, 3.7, around there. That's not too bad. Definitely nowhere near the top tier, but pretty good. Unfortunately, as it is a dual saber type, it is in direct competition with the Gerber Straight Tiger Pierce, which we all know is just too broken. So unfortunately, it drew the short end of the straw. It has use in very specific builds. Alright. And the anti-beam coating cloak. Pretty much the ABC cloak, except not ABC cloak. Okay, with dual sabers equipped, EX skill damage output boosted by a flat number. Well, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Okay, Gundam type 4 base, no offensive stats whatsoever. The only saving grace that this part has is that it has very decent defensive stats for what it is. That's it. This is a shield stat stick that has nothing offensive. It's for a more defensive build type suit. That's all she wrote for the Sandrock. Alright. Kampfer Amazing. Blow me away. You can do it. While high mobility, shooting power boosted by 30%. I don't like the high mobility tag because it doesn't give you anything offensive. However, the shooting power boost is quite nice, and it is a mono eye. However, I will still say high mobility is probably not a tag you want to be building into for an offensive suit, as there are better options. But if you want to make use of this headpiece, you have an option. Shot attack. This is pushing, what, 31 or so? So, okay. Cool. High mobility, ace exclusive. Alright, look at that, man. We're getting like the best shot attack tag and something to activate a very good shot buff. This is like the Kshatriya head light, pretty much, because the quad head is just when you're attacking with beam, if I remember correctly, your attacks get a percent boost. This is with high mobility, so yeah. Although I guess when you think about it, the most broken weapons right now in the shot categories are physical shot, not beam shot, so I guess you would say that this is the better option, as this is just shooting power boost, not, while you're using beam you get a shooting boost. Okay. So it's definitely not amazing, but it's okay. While shot defense is over 3,000, shooting power boosted. I'm sensing a theme here. I like it. I'm just sensing a theme here. High mobility for urban area. Slightly higher than average shot attack on this torso. High mobility for urban. So this would definitely need to get the word tags buffed out of it. Okay. I like the trait though. That's not terribly difficult to accomplish. When one enemy shot down, cool. Unfortunately, you know, your abilities have to be on cooldown for this to be effective. And by the time you shot an enemy down, if you're doing arena, right, 1v1, your enemy's dead, you have no use for this. If it's a 3v3, hopefully you're able to kill them all with your 3 skills or before your 3 skills are all on cooldowns. This would be ineffective anyways. Perhaps in multi-mission this may be useful, but it'd be only useful in very certain multi-missions. Perhaps if you wanted to rolling buster spam, for example, right? If you got 2 of these parts, max them out, you do a rolling buster right into a rolling buster, and there you go. But very, very limited use. It does have high firepower, though. Again, I don't like the high mobility tag, but it feeds into the head part, so... Stat distribution-wise, has just above higher than average shot attack, and its melee attack is obviously lower than average, but it is a shot-centric arm, so that is to be expected. It's actually not a half-bad part under certain situations. Unfortunately, the situations are very, very few and far between, so... Reduced cooldown is useful in Infernos now. It depends on how you attempt the Infernos and how you decide to tackle them. It could be very useful, absolutely. But at the same time, it could also be detrimental when you could use something that just gives you a % boost. For example, the build that I run through most Infernos would actually suffer greatly because it uses magazine skills as its core offensive until the 2 other EX skills come off their initial cooldown. So, you know, reducing cooldowns by 50% wouldn't really do much for me. Because by the time I empty my magazine skill, the other 2 skills are off cooldown anyways. So I'm not really expediting. What's with this Gunpla's word tags? That's a very, very good question. Okay. Amazing knife. DB+. Okay, physical melee. High mobility for urban area. Higher than average shot attack. That's like Sokai tier shot attack on the legs. Unfortunately, the EX skill and the word tags, not really doing it. But definitely as a parameter part. Definitely as a parameter part if you're lacking one for your legs and you already have your word tags and everything sorted out. Absolutely. Alright, amazing winner. DA. Cutscene. Raise shot attack your squad. Cool, high mobility, high firepower, and just slightly higher than average shot attack. Okay, so it could be much worse as a part. The EX skill, at least on paper, looks like it packs a punch as it is a cutscene EX skill. You have your high firepower word tag, which means you're just lacking ace exclusive or whatever third tag you're looking for, or second tag, I guess. And the stat distribution isn't terrible. So, okay. Alright, the amazing knife. Now we get into all the sub-weaponry. Jeez. With technique attribute self, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. Very easy to activate the technique attribute. Enemy melee power reduction, useful on a support, third, backup machine, whatever. Offensive stat distribution is poor for a 4-star part. High mobility for urban area. So this is pretty much an aesthetic part, perhaps the trait if you need it. Beam Saber. Okay, suffers from the same low stat pool. When armor is 80% or less, EX skill power boosted. This may be useful again under very certain situations. Perhaps if you're running, you know, if I could read what that says, I would totally thank you for subscribing, but I can't. But thank you for subscribing. Anyone that thought, no, I don't actually read Japanese, so my apologies on that. I can. Yeah, no. I still need to learn it. I'll get around to it eventually, just like I'll get around to doing a lot of things. Can't go wrong with saying it's a part. You're not wrong. Now, why is my chat not showing up? I noticed this in the last stream I did too, where my chat... Give me a sec here. I'm going to try to rebuffer it. Something is just completely funky with this. And turn that on and off. There we go. Now, why is it so far behind? Yeah, wow, that is heckin' far behind. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna just chalk it up to Streamlabs just having a bad day. Okay. It'll catch up eventually. So, melee attack, 2,587. When armor is 80% to... Yeah, okay. So, it brings the ace exclusive tag, which is very nice for shooters. It has a less than average melee attack, which kind of knocks it down a few pegs. And unfortunately, the part trait is only going to be useful under certain situations. I don't really want to be the one saying, yeah, take a few hits to do your best amount of damage, because you never really want to take hits if you can avoid it. Okay. Beam rifle. While high mobility, job gauge increase. Oh, cut that out. Cut it out. Shot attack. That's going to be what, 4,100 or so? I'm impressed. I actually like the parameters on this gun. High mobility ace exclusive. So this has higher than average stats. Ace exclusive word tag. Unfortunately, it has a very bad trait, in my opinion. I don't think job gauge boost is very good. And it has high mobility, which again, very limited use word tag. Bit about a boop. Amazing long range rifle. Okay, so you also have an amazingly high shot attack. Nice. After 10 seconds pass, EX skill power boost. Now this is a trait I can rally behind. This would be great on Inferno, because once 10 seconds pass, which is typically about the first wave or so, the rest of the waves, your EX skill power is boosted. And considering EX skills are typically the easiest way to clear those missions, this would be a very useful part to have. It also comes with high firepower, which obviously makes it very useful on a shot build. And I guess arguably melee as well, because it also boosts melee. So yeah. I'd say all around this is actually probably the best part between the two gadgets that I've seen so far. What does that say about things? Okay. With technique attribute self, shooting damage output boosted by a flat number. Why do they do this? I don't know. You guys probably don't know. I wonder if the devs even know. 4761 shot attack, so just like all the other weapons, it has a very nice shot spread, high mobility for urban area. So unfortunately, this one here suffers on part traits, doesn't really bring any good word tags to the table, and it has good stats. It's a stat stick. Cool. So the best thing out of these two gadgets, in my opinion, is the amazing long-range rifle. Everything else can burn back into plastic and hopefully bring us better stuff next week. Regarding the 00 Quanta Full Saber, I did do a review video on that a while back, and I think all my opinions actually still stand on it. It has very useful stuff for melee builds. And you can actually see most of its parts in very high-level comps. However, I would refrain from rolling on it, because don't forget, this banner is going to be up until the 25th of August. By the time this banner dissipates, we'll know what the, it is Sokai next week, isn't it? It should be Sokai. Yeah, we just had limited. Next week is going to be Sokai, at least if they follow the schedule. So what I would recommend is waiting until next Sunday, and when the Sokai is announced, then I would think about rolling this depending on what's in the Sokai. Big brain. Unfortunately, though, it's not a guaranteed like the step-ups are, so you're kind of in the lurch with running the Sokai Festival Revival. So if you're willing to risk the rates, but I think in general it may be safer to just hold off and wait for a proper step-up revival of the Quanta, just to make sure that you can get the parts that you want from it. Alright, well, let's look at the pilots. We'll look at Spaak last. Norba. When armor is 60% or more, all shot attack raised. He's even a mid-shooter. They didn't make him a defender or something. I like that. High firepower and... Damn it, I can't do my visual gag. I was hoping I had my glasses here so I could put them on and take them off in disbelief. This is an amazing spread. He is perfect for a sub-slot for your pilot. He has high firepower and ace exclusive, the two best shooter tags you could ask for. He has an amazing part trait that boosts your shot attack, which is great because it's hard to find a good part trait. The only two things you could ask better is the long shooter job because it has more flexibility with the parts and higher stats, but those are solved if he's a sub-slotted pilot. Norba, my friend, expect a call from me. Alright, let's look at the last sucker here. Fon Spaak. When two enemies shot down, all power boosted. Okay. He is a infighter. So he's running, what, 1100 melee attack, Gundam type, close combat. Considering your 3-star friend just completely blew you out of the water, I don't know why you didn't bring more to the table. Like, you get a gold star for coming out, man, but... Yikes. Okay. So, Fon Spaak is okay, and that's a very tentative okay. The only good thing about him is the part trait and close combat, but close combat exists on many pilots, and I personally believe there are better part traits. There's actually another pilot that has the exact same activation trait here, all power boosted, but requires a different trigger, which I believe was easier to obtain. I'm not sure about his job license, though. Wasn't it Bodwin that had this? It was one of the Iron-Blooded Orphan pilots, and he completely escapes me what the trigger was. So, yeah. The reason you probably don't remember Fon Spaak, John, is because he was from 00E, F, I? One or all of them, which are these side stories. So, unless you really liked 00 and dove into the side stories, the manga and stuff like that, you've probably never seen this man before in your life. So... yeah. So, that's a very interesting thing to look over. So out of everything that we saw, with the sword impulse, we had the dual sword, the Naginata, sorry, which I think is a very nice pickup, only due to its trait and the uniqueness of it. And the arms, because again, trait is very nice on them, in my opinion, for a welfare part. Beyond that, looking at the gacha stuff, we had the amazing long sniper rifle from the Kampfer Amazing, which I think just feeds very well into everything it's trying to do. And finally, Norba Shino, who I think brought some amazing stuff to the table, especially as a 3-star pilot. With our new 2.0 system and sub-slotting, he will be an amazing addition for most pilots. So... keep an eye out for him, hopefully ticket him, maybe you want to roll a little bit because he is only a 3-star, decent drop rates, really up to you on that front. Okay, unfortunately the Sandrock got shafted, but it is a standard pool, this is to be expected. Bullseye, best bang for buck. Yes, the Bullseye banners are amazing for what you're getting from them if you roll on them. So if you want at least one of the parts in the Bullseye banners, I would wholly recommend. Go for it. It is a little bit on the hefty side as an investment, 7,500 horror chips for the full 5 steps, 1,500 a pop, but you are guaranteed a part of your choice from the parts that are on rate up, which is the important part. This is the first time we've had the ability to freely select a Sokai part with something. So taking advantage of that to make sure your builds are at the best they can be. Okay. Mind looking over the animations on the Japan Twitter account. Are they already up? Ah, they are. Alright. Sure, give me a second here. Let me just configure my web browser here real quick, and we'll watch all of them together, and we will go from there, guys. It's not deafen all of you when I play these videos, because God knows these are going to be loud. They even went and played the Quanta stuff again. Whatever floats their boat. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the sword impulse stuff here, but that's fine. So, let me just set up my desktop here, because I've set up my browser. All is good on that front, but the desktop is not. And now the desktop is. Cool. So let's just change over to that here real quick. All right. Cool. So we'll watch all of the Kampfer Amazing stuff first. Let me just kill the game audio. I'm not going to turn on the browser audio here because it's fucking deafening. And yeah. You know what? Might as well full screen it. I did not full screen the way I wanted whatsoever. Okay, so that's a melee type. Close. Okay, backpack piece. Okay, so that's not AoE at all. So that's going to be... Yeah, that's a dime a dozen. So that EX skill is really nothing special then. Okay. And the Sandrock. So, the Vulcans, we all know what Vulcans do. I don't think we need another tutorial. Self-destruct. Who could have foreseen that coming? So that has the potential to hit AoE, but it's going to be very close. So I'm not really sure if I would say that that's a good AoE skill. Okay, I think I've seen enough. Okay. Well. What's a must-have in the bullseye? That's actually a pretty good question. Let me double check what's in those. I think there was like 1 or 2 parts that you'd look at and you'd be like, yeah, these are pretty good. So the Freedom Legs have an amazing EX skill on them. Because they hit like an absolute truck, the Xiphias Rail Cannon. Shot attack, you get a heal. Like it's an all-in-one solution, pretty much, right? So it's pretty tight. I believe that's all that the Freedom really had. I don't think these plasma cannons, yeah, no, D power, so that's more or less an aesthetic piece. The Lacerta. Job gauge increase, and shield bash, which I think was D power as well, wasn't it? No, it was B+, but it's lower shot defense. Well, potentially, but I would highly recommend the legs if you're going to be looking at a Freedom part, because the rest of it's not really... As for the other parts that are in here, it's what? Freedom... Star Build Strike. Wasn't the Star Build Strikes like arms or something really good? Or was it the backpack? I can't remember anymore. RG Double Build Knuckles. I think those are the good ones. I can't remember. I know one of these was pretty good. Pro Tag, High Firepower. It wasn't that, so I'm pretty sure it was the arms. Unless somebody can... Sasabi Shield, Freedom Leg. That sounds about right. The Sasabi's in this one too. Nah, this is the Exia Dark Matter. Yeah, I recently did a video on that. Burning Denial, Floros. Yeah, there's so many nice suits in here. Reborns, V2. Yeah. I think there's a little too much to go over for recommendations on this, because this is literally like every Sokai ever, so you're better off going back and looking at all my old Sokai videos. Yeah, wowzers. Yeah, they've added some decent quality of life stuff in there. There are parts in the gacha not in the parts select. Yeah. Well, from what I understand, because I saw most of the suits that are on here in the exclusive rate up thing, right? It seems to kind of pick and choose on what it wants to have in both, so I would double check what's actually available before you would roll. But either of these 2 step-ups here, so either, you know, this step-up here or this one here, both of those are amazing to look at and roll, just because of the final step on them where you get to pick a part of your choice. If you want to know more about the parts in specific, I would definitely hit up the older videos I did, because I have gone over, I believe, every Sokai up till now I've done this style of video on, where I review it in some fashion. So you can definitely go back and look at all of them and figure out what parts work best. I'm not about to do them all again, because I could be here a very long time, especially with the way 2.0 has changed things. So, and someone said, lastly, the Inferno mission. Yeah, you know what? Let's take a look. You were looking at the bullseye, you're looking at the regular step up. The thing is, though, I think the words still hold true, is I would definitely go back and look at the other stuff. Oh, I still need to do my arena, don't I? With my... oh, wait, yeah, no, I left... This suit's fine as it is, right? I used a free build slot. So let's go tackle the Inferno mission, see what I can do. If you came here just for the part-related stuff, the new content, you're free to bail. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to hang out, watch me attempt the Inferno and die on the inside, feel free to hang around. So what do we got? Long shooter, 60 seconds, mission cleared. Okay. High firepower. Yeah, I wish I had more time to get another 6-star part, but it is what it is. Don't forget the event blueprint store. Did they add new stuff again? More stuff in the rotation field? If I had one more bullet in these guns, it'd be a lot better, but... Might as well use the chest laser for something, am I right? So I have, what, 15 seconds or so to clear the last wave? Well, see what happens. I love the colony drop, it's ridiculous. I think I just cut it on the 60 seconds with that one. Let's find out. I did. Alright. Well, it was a fun Inferno, and I will just ticket the rest of those clears later on at some point. Alright. So if anyone wants a general strategy for the Inferno, this is definitely the easiest one out of all of them so far. Whoever said that, you are correct. The one that we had last week was actually a little bit on the savage side. It was a very small arena, and the enemies had a lot of coverage. So you were either very quick at dispatching what you were fighting, or you were going to have a bad time. This is a little more relaxed, especially considering you do not need a crazy amount of stats to be able to clear it. Right? I was able to clear this, I had, what is that, 32k or something shot attack, or was it a little higher? It was 32k shot attack, right? So, very, to me, simple clear. And I'm a very casual player, so. I don't know if I'd say pro skill Storm. I literally eked it out the last second on that. Shooter gang so happy this week. It's true. It's true. Last week it definitely felt like Melee had the advantage just because of the way that everything was playing out. But nice. Okay. So, event blueprints. Yes, before I forget, let's check out the event blueprints, and from there we'll figure out what's going on. So we have same stuff as normal. Wait, I did go to event blueprint. Okay. So we still had the same stuff in there. Force Impulse, a straight red, Death Scythe. Bushido, Tierra, same pilot cycling. Lightning, Sengoku, Barbados, F91. Okay. The Death Scythe, the gacha 4-star Death Scythe was, if I remember correctly, a letdown. The Stray Red Frame, is this a normal one or is this like custom or something? Oh, it's the custom, okay. They're letting us craft it? Are they insane? So to anyone that is watching this, I have one singular piece of advice. Do your damnedest to get this weapon to EX10. If you ever decide to run an infighter or any melee suit, this will single-handedly carry your entire build. This has been my PSA, thank you. What? You can craft 2 of these. It does it. Craft as many as you can. If it's 1, 10, it doesn't matter. You craft as many as you can of the Tiger Pierce. That is the single best melee weapon in the game right now. It comes... Well, actually, you know what? I'll just bring it up here and explain it, because it's the only weapon on here I think is really worth even looking into. So, why is this such a great sword? For one, it has arguably one of the... Well, actually, no, it has like the highest melee attack in the game for a weapon. I think it's actually second place, only behind Sokai Parts, which is obviously an amazing badge of honor. So as you can see, just level 99, it's sitting at over 5k. It has Pro Tag and Close Combat, the 2 easiest and best word tags for melee machines. And finally, it's Part Trait. While you are Pro Tag, initial EX skill charge boosted. Almost every single melee machine is going to have Pro Tag, because almost every single melee part has Pro Tag. At least decent ones. So not only is this Part Trait excessively easy to activate, but it is an amazing actual ability in itself. Comes with the 2 best word tags and the highest melee stat available. I really don't know what else you would possibly want in a weapon. I really do like those swords, if you couldn't tell. Plus, it pairs very well with Bale arms. It pairs very well with the Barbados 4th form arms, if you have those, due to the Part Trait if you're running an infighter, and so on and so forth. If you're a budget player and you only have something like, let's say, the Susanoo arms, use those with these, there you go. Or just use the Part Trait from it, whatever, or... Well, I know what I'm doing for the next few days. Okay, well, with that, guys, I don't really have anything else to talk about. I've gone over all the content. I've looked at, I think, pretty much everything that they could have possibly added in here, unless something is really deep in the menus. What's in the Capital Shop today? Nothing good. Okay, so I'll wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out. If you did enjoy the video, all that, leave a like. Helps the video get around and all whatnot. I'm not going to go on for too long with this, though. I got places to be. You guys got places to be. We got games to play. Peace out, guys. See you in the next video.